Trap house entertainment. Okay. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. My dog to a fish. They come running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the bitch. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. I know my appeal. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't want to be a crip walk till they cripple tick tock. Won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the ref. Blow them with the crip walk till they cripple tick tock. Won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the ref. Blow them with shot it there with cute devils. Super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it, like an instrumental. And she blow my pickle like a whistle. Sweet like Skittles, take the rainbow. Better get a raincoat. Trap house entertainment. Okay. Blow your whistle, blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. My dogs, too official. They come running when I whistle. Cause they want to know the issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. Under my appeal. When you see them with the needle, man, I wouldn't want to be it. Crip walk, so they crip. Tick tock, won't miss you. Hip hop, when they dribble to the rap house entertainment. Okay. Yep. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yep. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. My dog, too official. They come running when I whistle. But they want to know the issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. I know my appeal. When you see them with the needle, man, I wouldn't want to be it. Crip, walk till they cripple. Tick tock, won't miss you. Hip hop, when they dribble, tell the ref, blow the whistle. Crip, walk till they cripple. Tick tock, won't miss you. Hip hop, when they dribble, tell the ref, blow the whistle. Shout it big with cute dimples. Super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental and she blow my pickle like a whistle. Sweet like Skittles, take the rainbow. Better get a raincoat. The peep show is a freak show. Bubble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Crip walk till they cripple. Tick tock, won't miss you. Hip hop, when they dribble, tell the like mayonnaise, no cutting, no band-aid, artificial man-made, fan fiction back page, poke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs in the missiles, drag through the thoughts and thistles, pocket problem like a pimple. Trap house entertainment. Okay. Blow your whistle, blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. My dog, too official. They come running when I whistle. Cause they want to know the issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. I'm the model appeal. When you see him with the needle, man, I wouldn't want to be it. Crip walk, till they crip. Tick tock, won't miss. Yeah, yeah, blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. My dog, too official. They come running. When I was good, they wanted. No, they issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to him go. I'm out of here. When you see him, what do you mean? Man, I wouldn't want to be it. Crip, walk to that crib. Tick. Trap house in the town. Oh, yeah. Oh, blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. My dog, too official. They come running. When I was, cause they want no issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. Mizu, what it do, bro? The Mondays just come so fast, bro. It's like, god damn. Turn around, it's Monday again. Feel like I be in a goddamn time warp or something. Then we lost an hour over the weekend. What the man? Look, I'm not. I can't even deal with this year already. Can't even deal with this year already, bro. Trap House Entertainment. Okay, yeah. Blow your whistle, yeah. Blow your whistle, yeah. My dogs too official. They come running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. Sound out here when you see them with the needle, man. I wouldn't wanna be a crip walk till they cripple. TikTok won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle, crip walk till they cripple. TikTok won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle, shawty, they were cute, never super bad. Keep it simple, ride it like an instrumental. When she blow my pickle, like a whistle, sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow. Better get a raincoat. The peep show is a freak show, bubble like a teapot. Body like a steamboat. Crap walk till they cripple. TikTok won't miss a bit. Yeah. Trap House Entertainment. Okay, yeah. Blow your whistle, 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 yeah. My dog too official. They come running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the issue. So they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go on another beer. Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip walk. Till they grip a big top, won't tick tock. Won't miss a rip pop when they drip up. When they dribble to the rap, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle, yeah. I can't get a good version of these lyrics. I wrote a song last night. Yeah, it's 71. I got on short sleeves today, bro. It's like 71 or something degrees here. Oh yeah, springtime is in the air. I'm here for it, bro. I'm ready. My birthday in June, man. I'm a summer baby. Trap out. Trap House Entertainment. Okay, yeah. Blow your whips, blow your whips, yeah. Blow your whistle, yeah. Blow your whistle, yeah. Blow your whistle. My dogs, yeah. Two of fish, yeah. They come, yeah. Running when I whistle, yeah. Cut it. Okay, yeah. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. My dog to official. They come running when I whistle. Cause they wanna know the issue. So they probably put a pistol. You can listen to them go. All them out of feel. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be. Crip pop to the grip. Tick tock, won't miss you. Dip. This is all trash. Are my lyrics that bad? Fuck, bro. Hey, I'm gonna get out in the big room today. Stretch out a little bit. All right, as soon as that weather get good, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna break out some spray paint and shit now. Yep, I didn't even start the fucking what you call it. Oh well, I just started it. Trap House Entertainment. Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. My dog, too official. They come running when I whistle. Cause they wanna know the issue. So they wanna pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. On them out of peel. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip off till they grip the pick up. Wrong that shit hip hop. When they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Grip off till they grip the pick up. Wrong that shit hip hop. When they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Shorty thick with cute dimple, super bad but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental when she blow my pickle like a whistle. Sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow. Better get a raincoat, the peep shows a freak show. Mumble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Grip off till they grip the tick mayonnaise, no cutting, no band-aids. Artificial man-made, fan fiction, back page. Coke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs in the missile. Drag through the thorns and thistles, popping problems like a pimp. Okay, get real on the bank. Oh, okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Grip off till they cripple quick. I won't miss you. Hip hop when they dribble to the rap. Blow your whistle.
What's up? Oh my God.
Trap house in the tank. Okay, yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. My dog too official, they come running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the issue, so they probably put a pistol. You can listen to them go, on them out of beer. When you see him with the needle, man, I wouldn't wanna be a crip walk till they cripple. Tick-tock, won't miss you. Hip-hop when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle, crip walk till they cripple. Tick-tock, won't miss you. Hip-hop when they dribble to the rap. Okay, yeah. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. My dog too official. They gon' running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the issue, so they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go, some on the model pill. When you see them with the needle, man, I don't wanna be a crip wall till they cripple tick-tock. Won't miss y'all if I when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle wall till they cripple tick-tock. Won't miss y'all if I when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle. Shorty thick with cute dimple, super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental, and she blow my pickle like a whistle. Sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow, better get a raincoat. The peep show is a freak show, bubble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Won't crip wall till they cripple tick-tock. Won't miss y'all if I when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle wall till they cripple tick-tock. Won't miss y'all if I when they dribble to the rap. Blow the whistle with the white like mayonnaise, no cutting, no band-aids. Artificial man-made, fan fiction, back page. Coke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs and the missile. Drag through the thorns and thistles, popping problems like a pimple. Okay, yeah. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Yeah.
Trap House Entertainment.
Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah. Blow your whistle. My dogs too official. They come running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the issue, so they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go on them out of peel. When you see them with the needle, man, I wouldn't wanna be it. Trap House Entertainment. Okay. Yeah, blow your whistle, 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 yeah. My dogs, too official, they come running when I whistle, cause they wanna know the issue, so they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go, sound on them out of beer, when you see it, with the needle.
Nope, I'm done. I'm not gonna keep trying this shit. So I got one version, it's not bad.
Trap House Entertainment.
So this is a new song called Whistle.
Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah. My dogs too official. They come running when I whistle. Cause they wanna know the issue, so they probably pull the pistol. You can listen to them go on them out of peel. When you see them with the needle, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip off till they cripple tick-tock. Won't miss you. Hip hop when they dribble. super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental when she blow. Trap out satanic. Okay, okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, my dog too official. They come running when I whistle. Good they wanna know the issue, so they wanna pull the pistol. You can listen to them go on them out of peel. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip off till they cripple pick up. Won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, grip off till they cripple pick up. Won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, shorty thick, cute, dimple, super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental when she blow my big hole like a whistle, sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow. Better get a raincoat, the peep show's a freak show. Bubble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Grip off till they grip it, tick tock, won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rim. Blow the whistle, grip off till they grip it, tick tock, won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rim. Blow the whistle. With the wallet mayonnaise, no cut and no band-aids. Artificial man-made, fan fiction, back page. Coke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs in the missile. Drag through the thorns and thistles, popping problems like a pimp. Okay, yeah, on the bank. Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, grip off till they cripple, quick up, won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Trap out satanic. Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, my dog too official. They come running when I whistle. Good they wanna know the issue, so they wanna pull the pistol. You can listen to them go on them out of peel. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip off till they cripple pick up. Won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, grip off till they cripple pick up. Won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, shorty thick, cute, dimple, super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental when she blow my big hole like a whistle, sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow. Better get a raincoat, the peep show's a freak show. Bubble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Grip off till they grip it, tick tock, won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, grip off till they grip it, tick tock, won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle. With the wallet mayonnaise, no cut and no band-aids. Artificial man-made, fan fiction, back page. Coke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs in the missile. Drag through the thorns and thistles, popping problems like a pimp. Okay, yeah, on the bank. Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah. Grip off till they cripple, quick up, won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Trap out satanic. Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, my dog too official. They come running when I whistle. Good they wanna know the issue, so they wanna pull the pistol. You can listen to them go on them out of peel. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip off till they cripple pick up. Won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, grip off till they cripple pick up. Won't miss your hip hop when they dribble to the rip. Blow the whistle, shorty thick, cute, dimple, super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental when she blow my big hole like a whistle, sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow. Better get a raincoat, the peep show's a freak show. Bubble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Grip off till they grip it thick. Won't miss you lick. When they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Grip off till they grip it thick. Won't miss you lick. When they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. With the oil and mayonnaise, no curd and no band-aids. Artificial man-made, fan fiction, back page. Coke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs in the missile. Drag through the thorns and thistles, popping problems like a pimp. Okay, it will wanna play. Oh, okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, grip off till they grip it quick. Won't miss you hit. When they dribble to the right, blow the whistle. Trap House Entertainment. Misery loves company. We never borrow sorrow. So if you ever come for me, and feeling where you are, though, misery loves company. We never borrow sorrow. So if you ever come for me, and feeling where you are, though, miscalculating, that's your fate. Writing boats with a bitch, your case. Please don't lose in this your hate. I can see the bitch all in your face. The look of disgrace, shame and the sorrow. The emptiness makes you feel hollow. Plus the pain still remains tomorrow. Seen another day, but that still follows. That's gonna be a tough pill to swallow. Watch it down when they hit the bottle. Drunk gon' race so they hit the throttle. They crash out like they hit the lotto. A new provider, a new Movado. Few more dollars, a newer model. Is that how your deeper losses? The deepest darkest, they keep on watching motion. So I thought still spiral. Feeling so low, you can't take the arrow. Scared of the truth and keep your eyes closed. Just don't add your woes to my low. Miss emotion, so I thought still spiral. Feeling so low, you can't take the arrow. Scared of the truth and keep your eyes closed. Just don't add your woes to my low. Rain clouds around my head. Inside I feel dead. My room is real red. Happiness, they killed it. Nothing is fulfilling. Really fuck the feelings. The darkness is chilling. The lights revealing. Misery come for me. Never borrow sorrow. So if you ever come for me, feeling where you
Hey, the whistle tune, right? Yo, that whistle is so good.
never borrow sorrow. So if you ever come for me, feeling where you are, though.
So this is I'll do the inspiration beat, which was this is the inspiration beat for Whistle. The name of the beat is Whistle.
Your future is at your fingertips. Take advantage of the flexibility and
So this is what I wrote it to. Hey. Bam, 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 bam.
Trap House Entertainment. Okay, okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah. My dog, too official. They come running when I whistle. Good they wanna know the issue. So they wanna pull the pistol. You can listen to them go. On them out of peel. When you see them with the Nina, man, I wouldn't wanna be a rip off till they cripple. Pick up, won't miss you hip hop. When they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Rip off till they cripple. Pick up, won't miss you hip hop. When they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Shorty thick, cute, dimple, super bad, but keep it simple. Ride it like an instrumental when she blow my pickle like a whistle. Sweet like Skittles, taste the rainbow. Better get a raincoat, a peep show's a freak show. Bubble like a teapot, about to let my steam blow. Grip off till they grip it, tick tock. Won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. Grip off till they grip it, tick tock. Won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the rip, blow the whistle. With the wallet mayonnaise, no cut and no band-aids. Artificial man-made, fan fiction back page. Coke nose, make a whistle, drop bombs in the missile. Drag through the thorns and thistles, popping problems like a pimp. Okay, yeah, on the bank. Okay. Yeah. Blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, blow your whistle. Yeah, grip off till they cripple, quick pop, won't miss you hip hop when they dribble to the rap, blow the whistle.
That's not a bad little tune.
Everybody, welcome to today's show. We're starting a little early. We have a special guest with us. Syed Mohammed Marandi is a professor of English literature and Orientalism at the University of Tehran, where he also heads the North American Studies program. He's a political analyst known for his critiques of Western media and culture, and has appeared as a commentator on international news networks such as Al Jazeera and BBC. He was born in the United States. He returned to Iran at the age of 13, later fought in the Iran-Iraq War. Welcome back to the show, Professor Marandi. How are you?
Thank you very much. Although I have to make one correction, I used to be the head of the North American Studies Department, but my reign of terror has been over for a few years now.
Okay, all right. So I just want to, what kicked off. Can you just give me an overview of what it's like right now in Iran and what the feeling is of the people in Iran, and take it from there. Go ahead.
You mean besides us gunning down innocent protesters and killing people randomly as we walk down the streets? That's not what you're asking about. You're asking about the Americans bombing and killing peaceful people sitting in their homes and doing it for the sake of rescuing Iranians.
Yes, that's what.
Yes, what happened? Yeah. So basically, as I know you all know all this, and I know your viewers are very politically aware, but we've had 47 years of trouble with the United States. Actually, it goes back far further. The Mossadegh government that was overthrown. The reason why I'm raising this is that something that often people don't know is that the very same language that is used in Western media about Iran today, the Islamic Republic of Iran, if you go back to 1952 and 1953, same language was used about Mossadegh. What a horrible person he was, how evil he was. But it's the same thing. And after the revolution, I do this weekly program on Al Mayadeen TV. It's an Arabic channel, but it's in English. It's called Demystifying Iran. And last week I did a program on the narrative on Iran, that Iran is always in the West, that Iran is always on the verge of collapse. And I pointed out on the show, and if people go to Demystifying Iran and look for the first 5 minutes, that would be more than enough. And the same language in the 1980s and 90s and at the beginning of the century today. So in the 1990s, they were saying the youth are the revolution, they don't remember the revolution, they want change. A second revolution is brewing, the revolution is collapsing, it's unpopular. And then 10 years later, they say the same thing. And then, so it's always the same narrative that just continues forever, but the state doesn't collapse because it's a narrative that they build that's not based on reality. So recently, putting that aside, what happened was that 8-9 months ago, we were negotiating with the Trump regime. And as we were negotiating, moving the goalposts, initially Witkoff said that, and he said it on Fox News, that Iran can enrich uranium for energy, in order to produce energy. And then he kept moving the goalposts. And then between round 5 and 6, the United States Israeli regime launched a blitzkrieg attack on the country, which we all know what happened. It turned out that the whole negotiation process was fake. It was to deceive Iran. More recently, we had new rounds of negotiations. The United States did the exact same thing. For negotiating, and then in the last round, the Omani foreign minister said a lot of progress was being made. He went to Washington, he did interviews, he spoke in the White House, said, yes, we've made a lot of progress. And then at that moment, when he was in Washington, they launched this blitzkrieg attack again. Of course, this time, the Iranians, and they failed to kill many commanders. The only person who they did succeed in murdering, Ayatollah Khamenei. reason why they were able to murder him and 3-4 commanders who were with him, because he refused to leave his home and his office. He said that since many people cannot leave Tehran and other cities who are struggling, they will not leave. What may. He knew that he'd be a target. So murdered. So it wasn't no intelligence coup. He was in his house and in his office. And they murdered his wife, they murdered his son-in-law, they murdered his daughter, and one of his granddaughters who was 18 months old. And of course, other people in the office. So after that, Iranians immediately began to retaliate. And they began striking enemy positions in Palestine, in occupied Palestine, and the US positions in the Persian Gulf, in these Arab monarchies. Now, the reason why Iran is striking these Arab monarchies is because they're hosting US bases, and the United States is using those bases to attack Iran. So Iran is telling them that you're complicit. And being they're focusing on the bases, they're not trying to strike the infrastructure or the military of these Arab dictatorships.
I just made this image to ask a card generator to ask my boyfriend to be my Valentine's, and you can even print this out. This image is created by using only characters. Here's how I made it. I start every project by drawing a basic wireframe, scrolling Pinterest for inspo, background, and color palettes. I usually use Cursor to code because it's so good at helping you make exactly what you envision. It looks at your existing code context.
Tell me about, so they kicked it off by killing the Ayatollah, and I don't know what they thought that would do. What is the, can you tell me what the effect that has had? I'm guessing it's just making people rally more around against the United States. What do you think they were trying to do, and what did it actually accomplish, and what is the result?
The thing is that in the United States, the narrative on Iran, as I was describing earlier, realistic narrative. It is constructed for the benefit of those interests who want to have conflict between Iran and the United States. And so you always have this narrative where Iran is imploding, it's corrupt, people hate the regime, they love to call it a regime, they don't call anyone else a regime except for us in Venezuela and Cuba, sometimes Putin nowadays, but Russia, but so we're imploding, we're about to collapse, and that creates an aura of legitimacy, not real legitimacy, but an aura of legitimacy to attack the country, sanction the country. Like Cuba, they strangle the Iranian economy. They try to make people suffer as much as possible. They send in foreign intelligence people, bring in weapons to create terror attacks and riots and that sort of thing. And so all of this, these actions and this narrative is there to legitimize war, to promote and to convince the population that war is a good thing. So they believe their own propaganda. They've hired literally tens of thousands of expatriates, Iranians. 4,000 of them are in Albania. They camp, the MEK terror organization, which during the Iran-Iraq war, when Saddam invaded Iran, he fought for Saddam Hussein. And now they're in Albania in a camp funded by the CIA. Literally hundreds of TV channels and countless websites and other troll farms. In Albania, it's a troll farm for those 4,000 people. And you have other troll farms for the monarchists, or the Kurdish terror groups, and so on. So all these people, they produce a narrative. They reinforce that narrative. Their TV channels, and their TV channels are better funded than Iranian TV channels by far. a much larger number than TV channels in Iran. So you have more TV channels in Persian beaming in from London and the United States than you have inside Iran itself. It's quite stunning how much money they've been spending over the years. So these so-called Iranians, or these expats, they get money and then they bring in politicians and they pay the politicians with that money. Those politicians and those expats, they reinforce the narrative on Iran. So we have to go to war. And the regime is about to fall. The regime is hated. It's unpopular. They believe their own propaganda. And Trump and the people around him are a bit or less sane than the previous sinister people in the White House, who assume that they thought be an easy win. What happened is that what we all predicted, that it would utterly fail, but make people support the state. The Islamic Republic of Iran, by all accounts, polls done by the University of Maryland over years, I don't know if they've been doing it for the last couple of years, that are carried out in Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran has a large degree of legitimacy among the population. People are dissatisfied with the economy, with everything, but that doesn't mean that they want the state to be overthrown. So you can sit in a taxi or get in a bus or in the metro, the underground, and in Iran people talk and they'll complain, they'll curse, they'll say whatever they want. But those very same people are the ones who protect the Islamic Republic. And so when there's trouble, they come to the streets and defend the state. And when the Americans started slaughtering Iranians, and simultaneously as they martyred Ayatollah Khamenei, they also slaughtered 165 little girls at a school, Minab, at an elementary school. CNN, Fox News, The Guardian, The New York Times, none of them care. Just as much, they're just as captured Epstein class, the oligarchy, and so they slaughtered the kids, they murdered the leader, and so actually made Iranians more determined to confront the United States. And for the 4 past days, we're seeing that the Iranians are striking hard, and every night on the streets of and other cities, you see massive crowds under airstrikes, hit with missiles, but people are on the streets protesting against the United States, supporting the state, supporting the armed forces, and commemorating Ayatollah Khamenei who was murdered. And I have a Telegram channel. It's not, and the first 2 nights, when people in Tehran came to the streets, because they didn't all gather in one place, they gathered in different parts of the city for security reasons, like 20 different squares. Footage, videos of the different gatherings. And the numbers, if you put them together, it's in the millions. And then you can see in the video, in some of the videos, the US is bombing Tehran to see, for example, the anti-aircraft systems working, won't budge, men and women. It's like stunning. This is what, me at the University of Tehran. I've been a professor at the university, an academic at the University of Tehran for 22 years, a professor for 10 years. During the recent riots that we had, instigated by Mossad, they themselves admitted it. Western media completely pretends that these were just peaceful protests. They lie, but the evidence is there, and we can get into it if you want later on, but I think you covered this before on your own, so I won't bother you with it. Some of my own students, or students from my faculty, participated in some of these riots. Not that they were the ones with the guns or anything, but they were just young, like 18, 19-year-olds. Class with me, except for one of them, but they're just in my faculty. Over the past few days, like messages and so on, and then spoke with me, and they said we were wrong, and what do we do now to help the country, and how do we help the state and to defend the country against the American regime and the Israeli regime? And a couple of them got very emotional. And I was a bit emotional too, I suppose, when we're talking. This younger generation, which a lot of them, significant segment of them, were influenced by that Persian media empire that kept saying that the West supports human rights and human dignity, and all your problems are because of your regime and all that. Kids never saw the revolution. They never saw the Shah. They never saw a secret police. They never saw like people being gunned down by the Shah's army. They didn't see the West gave Saddam Hussein chemical weapons to use. I survived 2 chemical attacks. My cough is not because of chemical weapons. I just have a cough. These kids never saw that, but now, all that brainwashing, they're seeing the reality of the United States. See how they're carpet bombing Tehran, carpet bombing city after city, killing people. And they do double tap attacks, just like the Israelis. Tehran, all over the place. One of my friends witnessed one of them. Ferdowsi Square, they hit a building, people rushed to help, they hit them too. In another square, a journalist who I think works for Dropsite News told me himself he sent me a message saying to the square, I forgot the name of the square. And he said he spoke to drivers who said the same thing. They've been saying the same story. So they're trying to murder the first responders in different cities. And so the US Army the armed forces and US pilots are behaving exactly like the Israelis. They bomb hospitals. First day, I think it was the first day, in Tehran, they bombed the Gandhi hospital. They hit the IVF clinic. So a lot of women, just like in Gaza, women, they've lost their chance to ever have babies. They hit the infant ward, hit the whole hospital. It's a private hospital. It doesn't even belong to the government. Forget the fact that striking hospitals is a crime against humanity, but it wasn't even a government hospital. It was a private-owned hospital. And private-owned hospitals are usually owned by wealthy people who are not all that visionary. They've been bombing local police stations. They bombed the central building for the Red Crescent Society. They bombed the central building for the National Emergency Services. So they want people to die. They want those who are wounded. They don't want ambulances to pick them up. That's the objective. By the way, the riots that they instigated and were behind, they were doing the same thing. They were burning ambulances and fire. They were setting fire to buildings, people inside, and they prevent the fire engines from getting there. They burned the fire engines and they burned the ambulances. They burned hundreds of fire engines and ambulances and public buses. But that's a different story. So this is basically where we're at right now. 2 hours, you hear explosions. Sometimes they're very massive, and in some areas they carried out really horrific bombing. That's it.
So I wanted to ask you.
Just one thing I'd like to add.
Sure.
Personal experience of mine. Before last, I usually don't go on Iranian TV because I don't want to
Take a bathroom.
I'm not a public figure. I'm not interested in being a
Bathroom
public
break.
figure. I go on English media
I'll be
because
right back.
voices out there, or few voices from Iran. And it's not easy because you know, they're all constantly insulted and attacked, but in the Western media. But the night before last, because of the war, I agreed to go on TV. I go every now and then, every few months, once every few months, but on one of the channels, let's say. So I went there the night before last for a program from 11 p.m. to 12. When I got there, I went to the studio that I had gone to before three or four times over the past few years. And I saw that the building was half destroyed. He said, no, you have to go to another one. They bombed this last night. Iranian radio and television. They took me to this other studio, heroic men and women there. And I went and did the show, and after 12 p.m., I went back home, and at 1 a.m., I arrived again. So the terrorists that we're dealing with. When you watch the Western media, CNN or Fox News, or whether it's The Guardian or Breitbart, they're all justifying murder. Even those who are like sort of pretending they're opposed to the war, or maybe they are sincerely opposed to the war, but they say, well, Iran is evil, we shouldn't bomb. They too are part of the problem. They too are guilty. When they say Venezuela is evil, but we shouldn't bomb, they are trying to legitimize. They're trying to give an aura of legitimacy. Attacks. It no longer becomes a crime against humanity. It mostly becomes a mistaken policy. But the evil is not Venezuela. The evil is not Iran. The evil is not Cuba. The evil is the United States government, Israeli regime, carries out these attacks. They're in no position. I mean, if any country is.
No matter what y'all think about this war, you know, we're not the good guys in this shit. I'll tell you that now. We are not the good guys.
Is in war. World War I. War. Correct. World War II. War. Correct. The Vietnam War. War. Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. That was a congressionally authorized counteroffensive. Don't worry, we get right back on track with the Korean War. War. No, that was police action. No, they had tanks and stuff. Well, the police have tanks now, don't they, Carl? Okay, the first and second Iraq War. War. They identify as military action. It's a bit like pronouns, except we kill people. All right, how about Libya? War. I'm sorry, that was kinetic action, not a war. Venezuela. Well, it was an act of war, I think. No, I'm sorry, that was a law enforcement operation, not a war. Iran. It's a war. We're doing war things. No, not war things. Preemptive retaliatory de-escalation action. No, that's not a thing. All right, judges. Okay, how about the war on terrorism? War. No, it was a coalition-led conditional operation. How about Afghanistan? Afghanistan was the war on terror. No, I'm sorry, that was a pre-authorized defense stabilization initiative. Okay, can somebody tell me the rules here? War on poverty, Carl. Well, poverty? That's not even I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you. It was a trick question. We don't have poverty in the United States. The Dow went up to 50,000. Couldn't even get that high. Amazing. Don't even worry about the Epstein files. War on Christmas. The coffee cup thing? No, that's not a war. There's a war for the soul of the nation, whether or not I can wish my children Merry Christmas. Okay, you know what? I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Tonight's magical phrase, Carl, you just became a United States Congressman. Congratulations, Representative Carl. Merry Christmas. It's March. Well, okay, Happy Hanukkah.
God, that's crazy. My counter keep dropping to 0 like nobody's here. but it's only doing that because they're watching us. They listening to all your phone calls, your conversations with your relations. They listening. I still have yet to say Epstein files in one of my raps. Do I have to mention that shit? Yeah, this war is some, I don't know, man. Look, I'm just anti-war, period. And I just know, like, we, as a country, a nation, and a military, we be doing a bunch of extra shit that we really don't need to be involved in, and spending our tax dollars on war and killing people. And with the aid of the internet, more and more and more people are just opposed to this shit, man. More and more people are opposed to this. And it's like, my thing is, honestly, it be sounding bad when I say this, but this how I feel though. I'm an American. I live in America. I was born here. I've never lived in any other country. I want the country that I live in to be a great place to live because I'm here. This is where I'm at. My children live here. My family live here. I want my country to be great. I want us to focus on America. So in that way, I'm America first. Because I don't live in Venezuela or Ukraine or fucking Tel Aviv or anywhere else, man. I live right here. And so, does it suck when other countries have conflicts? It does. Yeah, but I'm always of the mind to, let them motherfuckers figure their own shit out, yo. Why do we always have to be involved in every fucking thing? In every fucking thing. We're involved in every fucking thing, man. It's old. It's getting so old. We've been fucking digging our national debt so fucking deep. It's not possible to pay this shit off. And so when the collapse comes, if hopefully it doesn't, there is no rebounding. And I think whatever leaders are in charge during that final stage of collapse, they will do whatever in their means to maintain whatever power and control they feel they have left. Whatever means, and I'm not sure how these people will act when they're desperate. So we're on the precipice, looking at our own fucking demise. But everybody who's a player in the machine feels their livelihood is more important than stepping up and protecting all of the citizens of this nation. When that general was in that war council meeting and he stood up and said, nobody wants to fight for Israel. And they bum rushed him and dragged him out violently and forcefully, and everyone else just sat there complicit. That's what's wrong with our fucking country. The ones who sat there complicit because their coffers are full and they want their coffers to remain full, and they just are very selfish people. And this is becoming a common theme with American citizens. We don't trust our elected leaders. We don't trust our institutions. We don't trust our military. We don't trust the media to tell us the truth anymore. And like I say, my algorithm is so far off now that I don't even see Fox News, BBC, CNN, none of that shit don't pop up in my algorithms anymore. I don't know how these networks are still holding on. He said, not this time. That's it right there, bro. They gonna fill coffers and coffins. And they don't care. They don't care. Like you say, they'll burn the whole fucking house down. They'll burn the whole house down and hope and pray that they can be a lapdog when the regime change happens. Because I have important intel and blah 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 blah. We'll execute you soon, man. Some dangerous times, people. I don't know what it felt like during the Cold War when kids in school had to practice for nuclear attacks and bomb attacks, and have the sirens go off, and they implemented this is a test of the emergency broadcasting system. If this was an actual emergency, living through those times, like, thought that shit was done. And once again, I don't know how people felt then, but I don't know, I feel like one bad fucking international conference or some shit, and we're just fucking toast, bro. About 80 years, man. Motherfuckers is tired of the US. Motherfuckers is tired of our bullshit. And again, man, I got such a love-hate relationship with my homeland. I think it is possible to be one of the greatest places ever. But the people who running this shit, man, god damn, bro. Goddamn bunch of Pirates and tyrants. That's all we got, man. Pirates and tyrants. And they're talking about fucking morality and diplomacy, democracy, and all this shit. Yeah, them motherfuckers don't believe in none of that shit. Goddamn lip service. God damn. Motherfuckers off of that lip service. Some rhetoric. He said this shit is cooked. Everybody started out like that, bro. I forgot the documentary I seen, but every great nation, every nation, any nation that's anybody has started that way. Japan and China had got bad blood. North and South Korea, like everybody, the Balkans, goddamn, even the Ottoman empires and all that shit. How them shits got started, bro. So the historian said that without slavery, we couldn't really build a grand civilization because it'd take too much free will and organization, and people won't do that. So in order to build something grand and massive, you got to have like a force, a force workforce. Easiest way to do that is easiest way to make people work and build shit. Slaves, nigga. Slaves. Everyone falls too. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but not everybody. So some people get to an equilibrium and balance out, and they're able to maintain. Once again, China has about 3,000 years of documented history and about another 1,000 years of kind of documented history, and then another 1,000 years past that of kind of like oral traditions and some legends in there. But if you ask the Chinese, they'll say 5,000 years. They've been around kicking. You know, India is about that old. Thousands of years, man. You know. So does everybody fall? Maybe, but sometimes if you get it right, you can make it last a lot longer. And that's what amazes me about America. Like we're not even 300 years old yet. A little over 250 years. And in just 250 years, man, this experiment is about to blow up in our face. Once again, China, the Chinese politicians will tell you, like, man, China been here for 5,000 years, and America wasn't here most of that time, and we will be okay. And other older countries, but beyond countries, because borders and all that shit changed, but older cultures know that the American culture is something that is an infant. It's very new. It's basically an experiment. And people are tired of this experiment controlling the world. Once again, when they've witnessed century after century of history to try to let the modern Western culture come in and dominate everything. Motherfuckers like, nah, we're done. Even the desert people over there in these motherfuckers been in the Bible, so they everybody's been around longer than America. We're the infant in the world as far as nations. Well, I guess there's some newer ones than us, like Israel and Russia, because Russia was formerly the USSR. The Congo recently got its own independence, but still, America, we not. The rest of the world don't see us the way we see ourselves, and I've been seeing ourselves like that for a long time since I understood war. And it's just like, well, why do we still war? Like, why is war still a thing? We still just war all the time, just war, 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 and some more war. There's war whores. A war whore on a war horse. And the horse hair is real coarse. Somebody write that down for me. A war whore on a war horse with the horse hair is real coarse. Never mind. I'll do it myself. My bag. I was concentrating for a second. I'm coming right back, guys. Here I come. All right. Yeah, the bottom line, I just want the wars to end. I just want people to live and let live and let me keep my tax dollars here in America. I mean, I'm sure Ukrainian people are some fine people. I don't know none of them though. I don't know none of them. I ain't never met nobody tell me, "Oh, I'm Ukrainian." I'm just saying, man. Can I keep my tax dollars here? Sheesh. Only if I could get it understood. I want to keep my taxes so I can relax. I want to keep my taxes. Mhm. Trying to get down to the brass tacks here. America. Why are you so anti such and such? I'm not anti shit. I want people to do whatever the fuck they want to do. As long as it ain't hurting nobody else. You ain't damaging nobody else's property. You ain't hurting nobody else. Man, do what the fuck you want to do. But don't take money out my pocket. Bottom line. All about equality. I'm just anti-idiot. I know that's right, bro. I like everybody except stupid people. But then that's why they gotta put warning labels on everything. You get a cup of coffee, it says caution. Hot. I'm like, yeah, dickhead, I just ordered a hot cup of coffee. Why are you telling me that the coffee is hot? Oh, because some dumb motherfucker and burnt themselves with the coffee, and then they tried to sue and say, well, I didn't know the coffee was hot. And so now you got to put a warning label on the coffee and everything else because of idiots. Ignoramuses. Once again, bro, this is the world we live in. What a fucking tragedy. A tragic comedy, actually. If you ask me. Nobody did, but yeah. I re-downloaded Cyberpunk 2077 and started making a new character. I might run that game again. Until Grand Theft Auto maybe comes out this year. I'm really thinking they're gonna push that shit back to the PS6. That's almost my gut feeling, you know. Technology is moving too fast. The aid of AI is everything is moving so fast that throughout the development cycle, they've been constantly trying to implement the new systems and new advancements. But as soon as they get it wrapped up and packaged and ready to go, like something else happens, and they're like, damn it, we can add that to the game. Or if we add this new type of program, it'll make this part of the game run better. All right, well, let's delay it for another 8 months and let's work on that. And then in that 8 months, there's another development, and then we just keep getting closer and closer to the fucking PS6 launch. And so I'm thinking, man, they might just shelf that shit for another year or two. Or just like the last Grand Theft Auto, they'll just let that shit run for 10 years and keep updating it for the new consoles, which would suck because once again, like they already planned the next console for 28, I think. 2028. So they'll be updating that shit soon as hell. If they give it to us at the end of this year. And then in a year and a half, they were like, oh, well, here's a new version of Grand Theft Auto for the new console. Like, bro, I just got that shit. I still find it crazy. Starfield. That's only on Xbox though, right? I really wanted to play that Bethesda game, and I almost bought an Xbox specifically to play that game. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. And then Bethesda still hasn't released any new information, trailers, or anything about the next Elder Scrolls. And that's been in production as well. I don't know if it's been in production as long as GTA, but they're about the same age. They're both like 11 years old. No. Yeah, so no, Oblivion is older than that. I mean, Elder Scrolls is older because Skyrim came out. Skyrim came out on 11/11/11. So that shit is already 15 years old. Took that day off work. 11/11/11. Yeah, I ain't go to work that day. And my boss, he was so hard. Like it was weird. He was questioning me like why I'm taking that day off. Like is it because it's the numbers or something? Like what are you doing? I'm like something personal. He was like, yeah, you can't tell me what you're doing on that day off. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna tell you what the fuck I'm doing. Well, so what? You gonna get a haircut or something? I'm like, haha. I get a fucking haircut. But he was weirded out by the simple fact I would not tell him why I was taking a day off. And I was weirded out by the fact that he asked me multiple times why. And I'm like, it's a person. I'm doing something personal. Like, the fuck you mean why? That's why it's called a personal day. So I already got a day saved up specifically for Grant. I got a personal day I'm saving specifically for GTA, bro. 'Cause if it does come out this year, I'm not going to work that day. I already tried to I really tried to explain to Shauna that this game is coming out this year. And like most grown, adult, responsible women, they don't give a fuck about video games. You don't give a fuck about that shit. And so, me trying to explain it to her, I don't think she was getting it. But I just said, for hardcore gamers, we've been waiting on this shit for over a decade. And a lot of us, me included, probably won't work that day, the first day it come out. And on top of that, you will possibly witness like me in like full gamer mode that you haven't seen before, where I'll do a fucking 8 or 9 hour play like it's my fucking job. Like I took the day off work to go to work. And some women find that shit weird or childish or not productive or whatever, however people look at it. And I get that because I look at it the same way sometimes too. Now that I get older and older, and it's like, you're not making no money off this shit. This shit really not doing nothing for you. It's just fun. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with just it being fun. So I did tell her, like, yeah, if they don't push it back, I mean, you gonna see it for the first time because she's seen me play games before. But not like, not like game. Like a whole day. I seen this one clip. This dude was getting arrested for some crazy shit, and "Fuck, bro, fuck, man, I'm being in jail. I'm gonna miss Grand Theft Auto." Yo, he literally said this shit, yo. The cop got that shit on his fucking, or this goddamn police cam. Smell fuck. I'm gonna miss Grand Theft Auto. Yes, you will, sir. Yes, you will. And that's crazy because I don't know if I'm getting the story right or not, but I think the motherfucker stabbed his girlfriend to death. I don't know. And then all you saw was somebody getting arrested and saying that part. So whatever the title of the clip or whatever caption was in the clip, you don't really fucking know. I don't know what that dude was getting arrested for because you didn't see that part. You didn't hear the cops talk about it. You just heard the dude say, "Fuck, I'm gonna miss Grand Theft Auto." Well, that's when I started thinking, like, did you murder somebody, your girlfriend, and then that's the only thing you can think about? That's what made me think, like, that's probably just a clickbait to get motherfuckers to click on that video because you ain't murdered your girlfriend and then think about fucking video games. You're going to the bathroom one more time.
In an ideal world, deserves to be overrun by foreign armies, it's the empire. They're in no position to preach about morality to the Cubans or the Iranians or the Venezuelans or anyone else. How I see it.
Well, let me just ask you about, so they bombed a school. Manab schoolgirls were massacred. Deliberate U.S.-Israeli attack intended to inflict maximum civilian casualties. And most of those girls were aged 7 to 12 years old. And it was something like 152 girls. And
I think 160 something.
you're right, actually,
Because the numbers kept going up.
167.
And then there were the teachers and like people who worked at the school staff. And so in all, it was like 180 or so, 80, 90 or something like that.
So Doc makes the point, imagine if this was the other way around. Imagine if Iran bombed a school in London or New York City, killed 180 something schoolgirls. Imagine the outcry. Imagine this was your daughter or your dad. Humanity is lost. If you like to hear my jokes about this, come see me in San Antonio, Albuquerque, Houston, Dallas, Salt Lake City. We'll be at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles in April, and then Las Vegas, and then Tulsa, and then Oklahoma.
Some of the most heinous bullshit I've witnessed in a while, bro. Just, I don't know. I'm tired of talking about this shit, bro. I know one main thing is I'm too old for the draft, so I'm too old for the draft. I'm an old man now. I'm not fighting age anymore. My back hurt, my knees hurt. And this shit get worse. Young men. What's that? whatever that draft ID number is called when you turn 18, you're supposed to apply for your number. It might be coming for y'all shortly to defend democracy and American freedoms. That's all we got to do, man. Defend democracy and American freedoms. That phone about to die. Shit. My homies are fucking stupid as people. Why? Why? Oh my god. Oh boy.
We are joined today by Professor Zhang, who uses historical patterns and game theory to predict the direction of geopolitics. And Professor Zhang is famous for many things, among some predicting the return of Trump and also the war against Iran, now a second war, that is. So thank you for coming back on the program. How do you make sense of this war, though, against Iran? I mean, how do you measure how this war is developing in terms of where the successes or failures are?
Right. So first of all, Trump has failed to articulate a purpose and a strategy for this war. At first, it was about uranium enrichment in Iran, and the fear that Iran would develop a nuclear weapon. In fact, in Trump's State of the Union address, he said that he would never allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. And both chambers of Congress, both the Democrats and Republicans rose to cheer and applaud. It was really the first time that Congress demonstrated any unity during that speech. It was an extremely political speech. But the problem with that is that any foreign minister, a few hours before the Americans and Israelis struck Tehran, told us that the Iranians had already agreed to zero uranium enrichment, even for civilian purposes. So the idea that Trump needs to prevent a nuclear weapon, that doesn't hold. It's just a pretext. And they tried many different excuses. And then finally, Rubio said this. Rubio basically said, look, we had to attack because Israel was going to attack first. And then the Iranians would retaliate against both the Israelis and us. So to defend ourselves, we had to preempt Israel and attack first. Okay? So they're struggling for a narrative. They're struggling to explain to the American people why this is happening. They're also struggling to contain a fallout because after the Americans initially struck the Iranians started to bombard U.S. bases in the GCC, and they close off the Strait of Hormuz. This is doing tremendous damage to the global economy. So oil right now, it's approaching $120 a barrel, $110 a barrel. I'm not quite sure, okay, but this is double from a week ago. And remember that the Strait of Hormuz delivers most of this oil to the Asian economies of Pakistan, India, China, South Korea, and Japan. Japan relies on 75% of its oil from the Strait of Hormuz. So in about 7 8 months, Prime Minister Takeshi has informed her cabinet that Japan will be out of oil. And Japan is, a manufacturing powerhouse. So this war has been a disaster. And even today, Trump has failed to articulate why the Americans are doing this, what the purpose is, and what the off-ramp is. And what we're seeing day by day is pretty rapid escalation. In fact, I think the second day or third day into this war, there are rumors of ground troops. Yesterday, there's rumors that the 82nd Airborne Division of the American Army was given deployment orders, meaning that it's possible Americans will choose to airdrop these soldiers into the middle of Iran. For what purpose, we don't know. There's talk of the Americans seizing Karg Island, which is the oil depot of Iran, and which accounts for 9% of Iranian oil exports. There's talk of the Americans funding proxies. There's talk of using tactical and nuclear weapons. There's talk of a national draft to find 500,000 soldiers for a ground invasion of Iran. So this war is completely out of control. And it's completely unclear what the Americans hope to accomplish with this war.
The narrative, I think, was very poorly planned, even the war has been planned, because it began, as you said, with nuclear weapons, then moved over to ballistic missiles. Then apparently they wanted to help protesters, then it was about to oil, that they should be taken out of the hands of Iranians. And Trump mentioned Iran might take over the Middle East unless, so we had to go in. And as you said, the Israel thing was interesting, because if the argument is that Israel will attack Iran, then Iran will retaliate against Israel, and I guess Israel and the United States, so they have to go in first. And they're essentially admitting that they're fighting Israel's war, but they can't say that either. So the ability to find a narrative was kind of poor compared to other wars. Other usually have one narrative, all the media, they organize around it, and everyone immediately repeats the same talking points. It hasn't been done well. But this is a war of attrition, though, to a large extent. That is both sides seeking, well, not both, there's all sides seeking to exhaust each other. But this is in terms of weapons, ammunition, but it's also spilling into energy, water, if you will, or just general economics. How do you see the exhaust tomb first?
Right, so I think Iran is trying to find a war of attrition, where it is putting pressure
Pretty good. We're almost at 2 hours.
on the global economy,
Wrap it up
on the GCC nations, because Iran believes that the GCC nations, especially Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, can apply pressure on Trump to end this war as quickly as possible. By closing on the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is trying to pressure the Southeast Asian economies of China, Japan, and South Korea to apply pressure on Trump to end this war as soon as possible. So the Iranians are fighting a war of attrition. Unfortunately, the Americans are fighting a war of destruction. So even though they haven't stated the purpose, it is clear from what is happening on the ground that the Americans and the Israelis are intent on complete and utter destruction of the Iranian government's capacity to deliver basic services to its people. What I mean by that is that they actually struck a desalination plant in Iran, so you're denying fresh water to the civilian population. That is a war crime. Then the Americans struck oil facilities.
Everybody's getting the same reports. It's not just hearsay. My phone just went into fucking
These are civilian oil facilities, so that
and it's about to die.
citizens in Tehran can drive their cars. And if you look at footage from Tehran, it is the apocalypse. There's acid rain. The entire sky is black, and these people have to breathe that air, so they will develop cancer, birth defects. It's almost like chemical warfare. So if you are just saying this is a war of attrition, that makes no sense. A war of attrition means when you embargo Iran economically. Why are you targeting civilians? You know, the first of the war, a Tomahawk missile hit a school in southern Iran and killed about 170 schoolgirls. This is an elementary school. 170 schoolgirls were killed in that. War, the way it's being constructed, the way it's being fought, seems to me that the Americans are first and foremost focused on the destruction of Iran as opposed to regime change.
Well, I guess that's a good description of that. Iran is fighting a war of attrition, so time will be on their side while the US is seeking to destroy the country with its 90 million people inside. So this is quite problematic. But the Iranians, of course, is limited what they can do to the United States. They can, of course, hit their bases, and but it seems that Iran is obviously prioritizing going after the Gulf states because that's a good way of creating some pain for the US-led alliance. How vulnerable do you see them being here, though?
So the Gulf states are the great vulnerability of the American empire because Israel, it has an eschatology. Unfortunately, religious zealots have taken over the state of Israel. So they're perfectly okay to die for what they believe in. And they can live in bomb shelters for years and years. That's how strong their faith is. And Israel was designed as an extremely resilient, extremely creative society. So Israel will emerge from this war intact and probably even stronger. But the Gulf states are different. The Gulf states are basically mirages. These 50 years ago, these were just deserts, right? And for most of human history, the Arabian Peninsula was not that inhabited because it didn't have access to fresh water. It didn't have much agricultural output, and so it could not sustain a large population. And most were desert nomads engaged in trade. But Pax Americana saw that because Pax Americana could needed oil to fund its empire, and it could offer protection to the Gulf states. So they developed really rapidly. So cities with maybe tens of thousands of people before now are in the millions. A striking example is Dubai. You go to Dubai, it's just skyscraper after skyscraper. It is a very glitzy city, and it's trying to be the financial capital of the Middle East. And there are thousands of extremely wealthy individuals who transferred their savings to Dubai because they believe that it's safe, it's comfortable, lots of good Michelin restaurants, lots of good 5-star hotels, and I'm not taxed. But this image of Dubai as a financial hub is now shattered by this war, and they'll never recover from this. In fact, we're already hearing rumors of millionaires just fleeing with their wealth. Now they're going to Singapore, now they're going to Southeast Asia. A bigger problem is this. A bigger problem is that because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, their oil economies have collapsed. They can no longer sell their oil, and they shut down their oil production facilities. What people don't recognize is that the Strait of Hormuz takes GCC oil to Asia, but then it brings back food. The GCC imports 80 to 90% of its food supply. So the rumor is Dubai will run out of food in about a week's time. Then there's the issue of fresh water, where the greatest vulnerability is actually desalination plants. So the GCC nations, desalination plants provide about 6% of all their water needs. And so if these desalination plants are destroyed,
All right, guys, we made
then they run out of water in
progress
2
this
weeks.
afternoon.
And this means the entire destruction of the GCC. Now, I mean,
I really thought it was going to take me a little
desalination
bit
plants will
longer
be the
than
new
that,
option
but
for Iran, and so
that's
I
not
don't think they
bad
would
for
use it very
today's
lightly.
I'm gonna
But
time lapse.
there's really no coming back from what's happening. I mean, for the longest time, the GCC had a reputation for being safe, for being extremely wealthy, and now that mirage, that illusion has been shattered. And once the illusion is shattered, you can't ever resurrect it again.
Shit ain't all good in the
No, I very
Middle
much
East.
agree. All the Gulf states not just dependent on energy, but the finance, the real estate market, which is propped up by all the expats. But what you're also describing, though, is these small monarchies selling the oils in dollar, and the U.S. in return offering protection. This was also the petrodollar system that replaced Bretton Woods once they closed the gold window. So what do you see being the possible consequences for the global economy?
Right. So what Iran wants to do is basically kick the U.S. out of the Middle East for a lot of reasons. And the main advantage
You lose
is
that
that once the
petrodollar
U.S.
run, bro.
leaves, Iran will be able to control the Strait of Hormuz. Therefore, it will control trade access for the entire world. And that and so the Gulf states will basically become client states of the Iranians rather than Americans. And that oil money now will be able to finance the rebuilding of Iran. So that's the end goal or the end game for the Iranians. The problem with empire is the hubris. And so another way of saying this is the empire would rather destroy the world than surrender its power. The idea that the Americans will just leave the Middle East peacefully is just wishful thinking. Everyone's saying that this war can only lead to the defeat of America. So America should just admit defeat right now and then go home and let Israel and Iran settle whatever problems that they have. Like the Middle East is not America's problem. But again, the problem
See, that's
is
how I think.
that
That's not our
America
fucking
is
problem.
addicted to the petrodollar. Leaving the Middle East would destroy the petrodollar. And if the petrodollar is destroyed, it would collapse the American economy as well. So America has $40 trillion in debt. And this debt is a Ponzi scheme. Like the American economy is sustained by a Ponzi scheme. And so the Gulf states, what they do is they sell the oil, get petrodollars, and then they recycle it back into the American economy, mainly by investing into AI, into data centers, which is now the main engine of growth for the American economy. So the Gulf states were to stop investing in America, the AI financial bubble would burst, and with it, the entire American economy. America would suffer a much greater depression in the 1930s. That's how dire the situation is for America right now.
The United States, though, they must.
These are political analysts. They're just reading the fucking tea leaves, people. They're reading the bones. They're going over history and seeing the patterns. And it's not like some fucking mystery or some magic trick that they come up with these fucking conclusions. This is just the obvious end game is we're fucked, bro. We are so screwed. And we keep playing around on this global scale like we still the big kid on the block. And we haven't been developing our infrastructure or trying to make our young citizens the smartest and brightest people in the world. Our country is fat, lazy, and dumb. And this shit is starting to catch up with us. Really fucking fast. It's a little depressing, actually. But we still doing good. I was just saying, I can feel the walls closing in. But for right now, shit, it's sunshine. The weather's good. We in the studio making some art. So I'm going to enjoy every fucking moment of this shit. Going to enjoy every moment of it. Hope you guys have a good evening. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. We're out of here.